Welcome to the economics class part 6. In this class, we shall cover what is an inflation, causes, its types, its impact on the society, then also what are the measures to curb the inflation in the society. So, beginning with what is an inflation? So, this is nothing but the general increase in price level of a goods and service in an economy. So, as the inflation increases, there is more money in the society. People have more money in their hands, right? So, for that, we say inflation increases in the society, right? So the rate of inflation is equal to prices of current year minus previous year by previous year into 100. So we take previous year's price increase in order to calculate the rate of inflation. Now what is a base effect here? For example, suppose July 2024 the price of onion was 20 rupees per kg, and in the next year the price increased to 40 rupees per kg. So the base effect we consider is the previous years, that is 20 rupees per kg. So that is called as base effect. Moving on, we have causes of inflation. So there are three types, that is the demand pull, supply shock, and the structural, also called as the bottleneck inflation. So what happens in demand pull? Here, demand is more, supply is less. So what happens? So when there is more demand by people and supply is less, the price automatically increases, right? So this is because of cheap monetary policy by the RBI. So here what happens again? Black money, the case of black money increases, and also there is an increase in disposable income. Disposable income in the sense the income, the remaining income after paying the tax. So what is a supply shock? So for example, if there is a war in Middle East going on right now, as we know, so there the oil supply decreases, right? So when oil supply decreases, price increases. So the cost of goods and services also increases in a country. Due to what? Due to shock because of war going on in the Middle East, the oil producing country. That is called as supply shock inflation. Whereas, what do you mean by bottleneck inflation? This is caused when the production is slowed or backed at certain stage. So, due to the lower supply, price increases. For example, if a company ready to make 10,000 cars, but due to the shortage of semiconductor, because of that one product to manufacture. So there are many components to product to manufacture a car, right? So due to the one product that imagine if it is a semiconductor, due to the shortage of semiconductor, the whole production itself decreases. Therefore, the company will produce less cars, so prices will increases because supply is less, production is less, and also distributing that product also decreases. Therefore, what happens? Price increases. Now, there's a term called catalyzation. What do you mean by that? So imagine there are five cement companies. So there are five cement companies. Due to the shortage of cement, what happens? Prices increases, right? But in this case, all the five cement companies get together. Instead of competing, they will secretly agree to sell cement at the same high price. So all the five companies together, they come together and they will sell the cement price at same price. So if the price is, imagine this, for one bag of cement the price is 2000, so all the five companies sell at the same price. So that is called as cartelization. Now what are the impact of inflation? Unequal distribution of income, corruption increases, then growth of economy is also affected, then uneven distribution of production pattern also affects the daily wage earners, and also we can see some recession in some sectors. Also it impacts import export, foreign exchange, and also it discourages savings. So when there is more money in the hands of people, they tend to spend more, right? So the savings reduces. Now, what are the types of inflation? So we have four types, that is creeping, walking, running, and hyperinflation. So what is creeping? So here the gradual increase of price is about 3% or less than 3% annually. Whereas in walking, there is a moderate increase in price that is around 3% to 10%. Whereas in running, price increases rapidly, almost in double or triple digit. That would be 10 to 50%. So even in hyperinflation, price increases such that it is over 50,000 per month. So rest of the threes are annually, right? So this is per month. That is hyperinflation. Now let us look at the terms such as deflation, disinflation, reflation. What do you mean by that? So what is deflation? So deflation is nothing but opposite of inflation. In inflation, what happens? There is more supply of money, right? Opposite of it is deflation. Here goods become cheaper, price value decreases. What is disinflation? Inflation rate goes down, but prices are still rising. In deflation, inflation has decreased, but the price is still rising. How is that possible? Right. So for example, if I tell you last year petrol rate was rupees, so there was 10% increase. But this year it has reduced to 5%, but still the price is rising. Compared to inflation, it is less, but prices are still rising. Whereas in reflation, here bringing economy back to life by increasing spending, then cutting tax. So the government cut tax in order to, and also it lowers the interest rate. What happens when these things happen? The value of money increases, right? So there is economic growth. For example, suppose economy is going down, people are spending less. If people spend less, business goes down, right? So at that time, what government does is that they reduce taxes and also give subsidies so that people spend. When people spend, economy grows, business grows, right? So that is called reflation. Now, what is stagflation? So, what do you mean by stagflation? So, here economy is not growing at all; it is stagnant. So, people lose job, but prices are increasing in the society. The prices of goods are increasing, but the economy is neither decreasing nor increasing. It is stagnant. Now, what is the term called recession? Recession is nothing but decline in economic activity. So this happens when the gross domestic product of a country fails, and also job increase decreases because people spend less. So there is no supply in the economy, right? Even the stock market drops. That is called recession. What is depression? So depression is for prolonged economic crisis for longer days. So there is no development in the economy itself for the longer duration. That is called depression. For example, the Great Depression occurred between 1929 to 39 in USA, where stock market crashed and unemployment increased about 25%. So moving on, we have what do you mean by agriflation. So as the word defines agri, so it is based on food, where food prices increases due to increase in cost of agri products. For example, if a farmer is producing a crop, but the fertilizer which he is using is of more, it costed him more. So what happens? Automatically, the price of the agricultural products increases, right? So this happens due to poor harvesting or the climate change, or as I said, when fertilizer increases, etc. Again, we have three types of inflation, that is core inflation, open inflation, and skewflation. Now let us understand one by one. So what is core inflation? Here, the rise in price of goods and service excluding food plus fuel. So that is the difference. Wherein open inflation, it is a situation in which price level increases without any government control. So here, government is not involved here. It happens automatically. How? When the demand increases, supply decreases. So that comes under open inflation. What happens is skewflation. Here, price of single commodity increases while overall level remains the same. So in skewflation, price of single commodity increases while overall level remains the same. For example, if I give you, imagine a car production. So for the one part of that car, for the product of one car, the price increases, whereas the rest of the parts price is moderate, they can afford. So it doesn't make any sense. So that is called inflation. Price of single commodity increases while overall level remains the same. So when they sell the car, they will not add the cost of product that costed them more. So when they sell the car, they will sell at the same rate. So that is called deflation. Now what is shrinkflation? So this is practice of reducing size of a product, but the price remains same. So if they sell 5 rupees chocolate, the size of the chocolate decreases, but the price is still the same, right? So that is loss for the customer, right? Because they are purchasing less quantity of chocolate for the same price. Before they used to get more quantity for that same price, right? Now, what is headline inflation? So the total inflation rate that includes all goods and service, including food and fuel. Previously, we studied core inflation. In core inflation, we include rise in price level of goods and service, excluding food and fuel, right? But in headline inflation, we include food and fuel. Now, what are the measures to contain or curb inflation? So there are two types: monetary measures and fiscal measures. Monetary measures are undertaken by RBI, whereas fiscal measures is taken by the government. So how does RBI controls inflation? So they control money supply by increasing interest or decreasing interest rate. We previously studied what is repo rate, reverse repo rate. So all these are undertaken by RBI. So that's how they control the money supply in the society or the economy. What does government do? So government can reduce tax or give subsidies or encouraging bottleneck inflation. So what did we study in bottleneck inflation? Here production is slowed at certain stage, right? So government can involve in reducing tax or pricing the agriculture products high. So that's how government reduces inflation through fiscal measures. For RBI it is through monetary measures. Now what are the indices to measure inflation? So we have three types: producer price index, wholesale price index, and consumer price index. So under producer price index, here the cost of making and selling goods, it is at factory or production stage. So this is at manufacturing stage. That is called producer price index. So here no fiscal policy. As I studied previously, fiscal policy is undertaken by government, right? Then we have another one, wholesale price index. So this is average change in price in bulk before reaching consumer. So here it is modified in the uh, wholesale stage, right? Through wholesale stage it goes to consumer price. From wholesale it goes to consumer, right? So this is the wholesale price index. So this is average change in price in bulk before reaching consumer. And here indirect tax is not included. And also it does not account for unorganized sector. Now what is unorganized sector? For example, if you compare a person working in a company, there he has every facilities. There the company cannot wash out all the employees at a time, right? Instantly they cannot wash out the employees. There is a certain procedure, there is certain backup for them. Whereas if you compare a person working as a waiter, he can be washed out easily. The restaurant owner can wash him out right easily. So that is the difference. So that is the difference between an unorganized sector and an organized sector. So coming to the consumer price index, here we as a customer purchase goods from the shop, right? That is at the retail level. So that is called as retail inflation. Here how much price of everyday goods and service increase or decrease, through this we can make out. So as per the government of India, that is the government of India adopted three CPIs, that is CPI rural, CPI urban, and CPI combined. Now what are the weightages under consumer price index? Here, food beverages has more. Next comes housing, fuel and light, clothing, footwear, miscellaneous, tobacco, intoxicants, cigarettes, then transport, health, education. Whereas in wholesale price index, we have three. So in the fixed market, we have three categories, that is manufacturing products, primary articles, fuel and power. So this CPI weightage released by National Statistical Office, whereas the wholesale price index is released by the Office of Economic Advisor. Also, we have CPI industrial works and CPI agricultural works and CPI rural labor. Now, what is CPI industrial workers? So, this is undertaken by the Ministry of Labor and Employment, where they focus on the welfare of the industrial workers. Whereas, similar way in agricultural laborers, here again, it is undertaken by the Ministry of Labor and Employment. Here, they revise the minimum wage for agricultural laborers. So, this is done under agricultural labor CPI. Same follows for rural labor. Here also they revise minimum wage for government or rural jobs under Manrega.